Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let us call to order the May 2026 meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners, and we'll begin with calling the roll.
Chairperson Einhauser,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Blackman, Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Kenlock, and Commissioner Forte. Commissioners Agade and Garcia are absent, but we do have a quorum.
All right, we have a quorum. So let's move on to the agenda for today's meeting. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as proposed? It's moved and supported. Any corrections, additions, or deletions from the agenda as presented? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. And that's adopted unanimously. Next, we have the approval of the minutes of last month's meeting. Is there a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Any corrections, additions, or deletions from the minutes as proposed? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. And that's adopted unanimously. Next, we go to public comments. And who is making the announcement? I see Matthew, no, is not approaching the podium.
To make a comment, please raise your hand by using the raise hand icon on your desktop or mobile device using the Zoom app. If you are calling into the meeting by phone, press *9 to raise your hand. During public comment, after your name is called, you will be given permission to unmute. In order to begin speaking, you will have to unmute yourself. To do so, press the unmute button, which is the microphone icon, if you're online or on the Zoom app, or *6 if you're calling in. At the beginning of your comment, please share your full name and the community or neighborhood you live, work in, or are representing. The timer will start after your introduction. You will have a limit of 3 minutes to make your comment, and please keep your comments to public comment. This is not an opportunity to request information or data, which can be done through the city website and Legistar. If you make a comment, and in order for DWSD staff to follow up with you, we kindly request you complete the comment card link located with the Board of Water Commissioners meeting event posted on the DWSD homepage at detroitmi.gov/DWSD. You will only be called upon once. Once the chair closes public comment, there will be no other comments from the public, and all attendees will remain muted for the duration of the committee meeting. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you very much. And the first person I have to speak to the board is Mr. James Rios. Afternoon, Mr. Rios, and welcome.
Thank you. Do I just begin? Good afternoon. My name is James Rios, also known as Jimmy the Plumber. I stand before you today as Lone River Solutions, LLC. Following the historic February 17th, 2025 Southwest Detroit flooding crisis, I spent months working on the front lines under the direct instruction of then DWSD Director of Public Affairs, Brian Peckinpah. What began as a personal volunteer effort quickly turned into an employment contract. On February 21st, Mr. Peckinpah, acting under the direction of Director Gary Brown and former Mayor Mike Duggan, approached me to negotiate a deal. The department lacked a bilingual liaison. They explicitly hired me to leverage my personal credibility and deep neighborhood connections to act as that bridge. When we finalized the terms, Mr. Peckinpah stated, Gary said to get it done. He specifically requested strict discretion, telling me, we don't want anyone to know we're working with you. From that day until June 30th, I was consulted on every major decision in the flood zone. Together, we achieved massive success for the affected residents. Per Mr. Peckinpah's direct instructions, I submitted my first invoice to him directly in May. He asked me to amend it to cover only April and through April, and instructed me to submit a separate invoice for May and June on June 30th, again to him directly. he explicitly stated that a second separate purchase order would be issued for that second time frame. My first invoice was paid on June 23rd. My second invoice remains unpaid. From June to January, Mr. Peckinpah repeatedly texted, emailed, and called me with updates, apologizing for delays and administrative errors and promising specific payment dates. Then, on January 5th, he completely cut off communication. In March, my attorney issued a demand letter. DWSD counsel responded by claiming my second invoice exceeded the original PO and that I failed to notify a procurement specialist. I am here to tell this board today the issue is not the existence of the first PO, but rather the absence of a second PO in response to the work ordered by Brian Peckinpah as an officer of the DWSD and instructed to invoice on separately. My attorneys and I possess extensive undeniable evidence, including emails, text message, and audio recordings proving that Mr. Peckinpah promised a second requisition and PO and repeatedly authorized this work on behalf of DWSD. This evidence can be made available for this board's review. I operated in complete good faith. I delivered exactly what was asked of me, and the city benefited immensely from my labor. I am here today because I want to handle this matter strictly outside of a formal lawsuit, but that requires accountability from this department. Mayor Sheffield has stated that a new chapter is underway in Detroit. Let this be a chapter where promises are kept. I ask this board to do the right thing. Exercise your authority to authorize a secondary PO to cover my outstanding balance and pay me as promised. Please.
Do I understand, Mr. Rios, you're telling us essentially about a contract claim, that you believe we're not honoring a contract that we entered into?
I am stating as fact that you are not honoring a contract that was entered into, sir.
And if we don't honor our contracts, we're not going to get too many people bidding on any of them or wanting to do any work for us. So let's do this. We, of course, are not going to get involved at this level in a contract claim, only hearing one side of the issue. But we can escalate the review of your issue. Mr. McGriff, our general counsel, is here, and he'll assign someone from his staff to look over all of the facts and your evidence, and will advise us correctly, okay?
I have a documentary evidence index for your review, sir, and the contact information from my counsel. I've made 10 copies. I'm not sure if that's enough.
If you're represented by counsel, we're not even supposed to be talking to you.
There's no formal anything. That's the lawyer that was in contact with legal department. He has all the evidence, text message documents, audio recordings to substantiate what I've said here.
Thank you, Mr. Rios. And if what I said doesn't happen, you all come back.
Definitely will. I imagine it was a pleasure to work with the department during the flood, and I'd do it again.
Next, how about Deborah Shelley? Ms. Shelley, are you here, and would you like to address the board?
Hello, I'm here with my son. I have his name, it's on the paperwork as well, concerning a property at 20225 Wyoming, where the bill is over $30,000. And he has his documents where he can speak and address it. I saw the mayor's State of the City address where she wanted people to try to move back into the city and purchase homes and build the city back up again. We're in a neighborhood that's not really great. And we're trying to get this for my great-granddaughter, which is his granddaughter. So is it okay if he can speak? He's on the list. His name is Connie Shelley.
Go ahead.
Fourth down on the list.
Shelley, I'm going to turn over if you don't mind. You told us your address, but I'm not going to repeat it because of your privacy, but we've got it here, and we will have our customer service department take a very specific look at it, okay? Is it the Wyoming property that is the complaint is about? Okay. We will pass that on and it will be reviewed.
And customer service.
Customer service rep right behind you, sitting behind she's got her hand raised. She'll talk to you.
Okay.
But I see your son would like to say something and I see he's on the list. So why don't you have your son go ahead and finish up?
My name's Connie Shelley. I bought this property in July 24. I found out that the property had over a $30,000 water bill on this property. It's my neighbor. She lived at this house across the street from me. She died in 22. The water department did not cut off the water from 22 to 2025. During that time, the water bill went up to over $30,000. It's only a 1,400 square foot home. For some reason, the water department just let the water just keep running excessively every month for $2,000. The son who I purchased the property from, he told me that he contacted the water, but they would not give him any information because his name is not on the, I guess, on the bill or whatever. So he did not have rights to, I guess, turn off the water or whatever. He never received any paperwork, he said, about the bill or anything. So by the time I purchased the home, and like I said, in 25, once I went and tried to inquire about the water bill, it found out it was over a $30,000 water bill. I don't understand why it's such an excessive amount. According to the paperwork, it's not fair. I don't understand. They're saying it's a leak, but I just asking the board, can they just be fair about this? I had a lady's death certificate. They told me over the phone when she passed away that it was a past due bill, but it was nowhere near $30,000.
Mr. Chair, just from a procedural standpoint, and just a couple of questions. So when you bought the property, so you weren't living in there as this bill was being accumulated, or did you own the property at any point in time where that, during a time frame where they're saying that it is a $30,000 bill? Okay.
According to the paperwork with the water department, the water bill ran from 2022 to 2025 with no payment because the lady she's deceased. I have her death certificate and everything.
You acquired the property at the point in time, and was the water still leaking from the point of time that?
There's no meter or there's no faucets. There was nothing in the home, but there's not even a water meter in the home. There was nothing in the home.
Interested in getting a report on this one, please.
Our customer service, I think it's your mother is talking to her now, and we're going to review it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Next would be Mashin Akrachi. Correct me, please.
Yes.
Oh, give us the correct pronunciation of your name.
Okay, my name is Mohsen Al-Shakarchi.
I wasn't too bad. Good afternoon, welcome.
I thank you so much. I bought the property in August in 2023, and I buy the vacant property. After 2 months later, I received the bill almost $3,000, but I'm not use the water because I still do the construction on it, and I keep call over a year. Nobody fixed my problem. Now is the property almost foreclosure because I'm not pay this bill. If you can help me with that, thank you so much. I have proof for everything. The purchase agreement, the deed, and I have the whole history for the water. And when I buy the property without a meter, somebody stole the meter for the property. After 2 months, I received a higher bill. But I keep call, nobody fixed my problem.
Sir, we're going to ask you to also meet with our customer service representative who's in the back of the room. She'll sit down with you, take your paperwork, and take a look at the things that you're talking about, and then we'll be able to get back. You're welcome.
Thank you for. Next is Mr. Jermaine Payne. Mr. Payne.
Good afternoon, Board of Commissioners. My name is Jermaine Paynes. I have an issue with, there seems to be a overload of sinkholes in the city of Detroit. Within the last 2 years, I've been reporting nonstop sinkholes that have been existing in people's backyards, in the alleyways, in the streets. These are liabilities for DWSD, and they are serious liabilities because they are collapse on sewer mains that can possibly cause serious damages to homeowners' properties, the city of Detroit, and in general to the alleyways and all of that. Me and Matt has been working together to try to get them repaired. And it seems to be an issue with maintenance and repairs director, Erica. I don't know what she's doing, but we need to look into this. This is a serious problem. I just got 6 sinkholes just reported to me yesterday. Sinkholes that are amounting to 15 to 20 feet deep. Sinkholes in people's backyard or behind their houses. This is ridiculous. I have 6 of them in my neighborhood. So I need somebody to really look into this. This is crazy. It's unacceptable, actually. We have all this money going out, and I'm looking at contracts from the millions, $28 million contracts going out to these contracting companies. Why don't we have any contracts going out to sinkhole repairs? That's just puzzling to me. And I've already mentioned this to Gary Brown last year when I reported the one on the Joy Road and Hubble area. I'm gonna bring the media in a minute and expose this issue if we don't get to it. I have 20 sinkholes on my list that I've been watching, and I haven't seen DWSD do nothing but put cones around them. That's not acceptable. I need them repaired.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. That concludes the list that I have for people who have signed up in the room. Is there anyone here present that would like to address the board? Come on down, ma'am. Tell us your name and what neighborhood you're in.
Good afternoon. My name is LaChana Hayes Josiah. I've been here a few times, actually. And the last time I was here, I spoke with Mr. Brown, and he put me in touch again with Mr. Matthew. And Matthew transferred me to your attorney's office, which is Elizabeth Morales. And the bottom line is that on January 17, 2025, the city of Detroit were working on, the water department was working on the drains. Bottom line is my basement flooded because of it. I went up the street and got the gentleman. The contractor took my name, but it was the Inspector Williams that gave me his card. I made phone calls. I went to the ombudsman's office. I've done all the things that I know to do as a city resident and things that I figured out to do. I've gotten estimates. I've faxed over everything. I'm just, no one gives me a conclusion. I just want my basement fixed. I don't want my whole house remodeled. I don't want my garage remodeled. I just want to be able to use my basement safely. And the Board of Water Commissioners and the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department led me to believe that that was going to be the case. Not by saying it verbally, yes, Ms. Josiah, your basement will be fixed, but they led me to believe that they understood what I was saying. They understood that it was the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department inspector who told me what happened while they were working on the drains. And in that process, I was told that part of my drain was damaged. Now, I got this notice in March of 2025, a year after I retired, by the way. And I had my drain snaked in February, and the cameras showed no damage. So now I'm disappointed that 2 years after the photo that the city showed me for September 2022, that was something wrong with my drain. They didn't send it to me until March 2025. Only now I find out that that's not true at all because I paid $300 to have someone snake the drain with a camera and there's nothing wrong. I really just want it resolved. That's all I want. I've been here multiple times, paid multiple parking. I just want, and the only way I get to talk to someone in person is if I come before my commissioners. And I just want my basement fixed. I talked to a couple of times, I got to talk to people on the phone, Ms. Morales or Matthew. Well, I can't know why I'm not calling his last name, and I mean no disrespect. I just want my basement repaired. My washer is acting weird now. The freezer light goes off on the basement, and it's probably because it was sitting in water during the time that the basement was damaged. And that's it.
We're going to ask our customer service department to specifically review your case and to report back to us.
That's what's been happening from the time I found out about this after going to the ombudsman's office and all of these things. I've been here in December of last year, March of this year. I've come down here in August. I've hand-delivered letters. I've done all of these things just to try to get something done. The ombudsman's office, I attended the boards. Talking with the chief of staff, Mr. Matthew Phillips, Elizabeth Morales. I just want it resolved, and to say that you'll take my information and get back with me, there's nothing that come to me by mail, phone call, or email.
Ask Mr. McGriff to comment.
I have Deputy General Counsel, Ms. Branch Penson is getting ready to talk to you. Ms. Morales reports to Ms. Branch Penson, and she will talk to you about your claim.
Thank you very much for coming down. Is there anyone else in the room that would like to address the board? Yes, sir. Your name and what neighborhood are you in?
Good afternoon. My name is Jadante Smith. I'm in Island View. How are you?
Thank you. Would you give me your name again?
Jadante Smith.
Mr. Smith, welcome.
I'm waiting on you guys to start the time, or should I just start speaking?
You have 3 minutes. Go right ahead.
This mic is, I've had an issue with the water and sewage department for the last full year. So I live in Island View. My mother had an issue before. And so we started a lawsuit because my mother's water was cut off for a full year. And I think it was Gary Brown. She would call Gary Brown's office very often because of a smart meter she didn't want to have installed. In 2016, I told her to let him get installed. So instead of taking my mother to court, her water service was cut off. I was not living in the home at that time, but it's my childhood home. It's been in our family for 60 years. So the water was cut off for a full year. We, from 2017 to 2018, and I believe, no, maybe it's 2018, 2019, but I have all the documentation. I have all the dates for that. We submitted a lawsuit, let the smart meter get installed. There was a old past due bill. We paid the past due bill. There was no legal reason given to cut the water off. So the lawsuit was dropped. And so now I live in the property. It's been in our family for 6 years, as I say. So I'm the third generation homeowner. I've had an issue with the water department where I had a leak in my basement that started due to a busted pipe. But so November of 2024, the water was cut off outside from water and sewage department, and apparently it was not cut off correctly because there was no heat inside the home, and there was a water pipe there was a pipe that burst in January of 2025. So there was a week worth of leak, and I think there were 19,000 gallons approximately that spilled out for a full week while we had to wait for DWSD crews to come out and cut off the water outside properly. So as a result, the bill went from $0 to $200+. And so the bill got up to $431. So reaching out to the water department, reaching out to Mike Duggan, reaching out to Gary Brown, got no assistance. Was told by Gary Brown at the first charter mandated meeting in, I believe, August of last year. Mike Duggan did it at Coleman and Young Center, that the bill would be wiped away because there's a one-time wipe away. So as a result of the lawsuit, I had all of the work history and all of the bill payments, and there was never a one-time wipe off at this address, and there was no wipe away done. So I had to go to the ombudsman's office. I had to go to city council. I had to go to the new mayor. I had to fight like hell to get this water bill lowered from $400+ down to what it should have been, because I only should have been charged a water drainage fee. So for a full year, I was unable to use water in a house that has been in my family for 60 years. So you guys will be getting an intent to sue. Oh, and Ms. Patel is sitting over there. I talk to Ms. Patel a lot too. I was told that I was crazy, that the sewage fee was what the price was, and it wasn't because of the water that leaked out. 19,000 gallons wasn't the result of the price, and I was getting charged a late fee. So you guys will be getting an intent to sue, whether it's pro se, whether I use my attorney. I'm going to sue, and I'm going to win. I'm going to get a lot of money out of you guys. And I'm sad my mother didn't get the money she deserved because she's a senior. The only reason she got her water cut back home is because of COVID. So I thank Miko Williams. I thank TJ sitting back there. I thank my friend Daniel. I thank Beulah Walker. I thank Hydrate Detroit. But you guys suck. Do better.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else present in the room that would like to address the board? All right, seeing none, is there anyone online that would like to address the board?
Mr. Chair, we have two hands that are raised at this time. The first hand that's raised is Cecily McClellan.
Ms. McClellan, can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you very much, Cecily McClellan, of We the People of Detroit. I'm calling to just express my concern repeatedly because of the calls that we receive of persons that have been already on the Easy Pay program, but unfortunately could not keep up with it. Well, we're finding that many of the people that were enrolled probably out of desperation to keep their water on and could not and didn't have the income to keep up with the bill, even once it was spread over the 36 months. So we have a population of people out here that, and it's growing, that don't have water. We haven't heard any reporting on the shutoffs since December, and I think in December, we got a report on the number of shutoffs. That information is helpful. We will be requesting that officially because, I mean, in terms of advocacy and also just in terms of need, as we look at water affordability, we need to know how many people have already been shut off. We do know that based on the reporting in the customer service, that about over 30% of the people that get on Easy Pay cannot keep up. And therefore, the next step is really a shut off. I think that we have to begin to look at some creative ways to fund the affordability program. I've already suggested, that we be very much supportive of House Bill 8254 on the federal level. That was submitted by to Rashida Tlaib and Debbie Dingle, and also the state water affordability program, House Bill 45555 and 5170 through 5173. But I think internally, it's just not sufficient amount of funds that are being allocated. In 1999, Judge Fiken signed an order that 83% of the cost of combined sewer improvement would be 83% of it would be covered by the city of Detroit and 17% by the suburbs. I don't think that in any way is fair at this point. I think that due to the decrease in population in the city of Detroit and the increase outside, that number is totally unfair. And I think that GLIWA should consider increasing the amount of dollars that they do allocate to the water affordability program here in the city of Detroit. I mean, it's already been stated repeatedly that the lease agreement at $50 million a year is grossly inadequate and unfair as well, based on the Haas study. But I think that there needs to be additional dollars added to this program, several million, to support a population of 60,000 or more that are in need. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McClellan.
Mr. Chair, the next hand that's raised is Gwendolyn Howard.
Please again.
Gwendolyn Howard.
Ms. Howland? Howard.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call. It's Gwendolyn Howard, also with We the People of Detroit. And I will not go through everything Sister Cecily just said, but I do ditto it all. And I'm just wondering that, we're getting calls about now it's becoming summer. And I know that what held them off from getting a lot of water turned off was winter and pipes freezing, and that may have been the hold off. But now that the weather is breaking, just wondering if there's going to be a rush of shutoffs. And I guess that's why we need to, at least get a look at what's going on with the shutoffs in our city. And the H2O program, just checking to see if there are any improvements to the H2O program in the near future, since you are we're approaching the fiscal year end, and did we in searching for funds and looking around, and I'm gonna reiterate that we support the bills that are out there for affordability, and as as the water board, can you go to city council and ask for them to put money into your program, because that's what they get to do. They get to write policy as well. So I don't know where to advocate from, but listening to our seniors and listening to the customers that call in, they're still not making this happen with the Lifeline H2O for sure. And then the Easy Pay program, they had a reprieve when we had the original Lifeline program, and they adored that, and it was helpful, and we pushed it as far as we could push it, telling them to get on it. But then when the funding ran out, which we said all along it was an assistance program, but I guess listening to our constituents, your constituents, the city people, the residents of Detroit, and the church folks, because that's a lot of the community people that show up. They're concerned because they know their water bills are higher. They know that they don't have they're not keeping up with Easy Pay, and they're concerned about are they going to have water through the summer. So just asking that you do throw your support behind the bill 8254 and 5170 to 5173 and House Representative Bill 4555, because at least it shows that we could get everybody some sort of water relief. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you, Ms. Howard.
Mr. Chair, the next hand that's raised is Norel Hemphill.
Ms. Hemphill?
Yes, good afternoon, Attorney Norel Hemphill. I have the pleasure of serving as a legal and public policy manager at We the People of Detroit. And I wanted to echo what Ms. Howard and also what Ms. McClellan said about the need for true water affordability. One of the things that they've outlined is water inequity and water injustice suffered by residents here in the city of Detroit. This is the reason why we need water justice, why we need water affordability, and this is the reason why water affordability must be actualized and codified within DWSD's policies. Uh, I want to quickly talk about an issue that we saw residents suffer in Jefferson Chalmers a couple of weekends ago. They had brown water actually running out of their pipes. They spoke to some representatives at GLEWA. They said that DWSD was flushing their pipes. They spoke to representatives at DWSD. They said that it was a GLEWA issue. We know that residents deserve an answer, and that cloudy water is not the same as brown water, which is what GLEWA was saying. So if you could please follow up with that community in Jefferson Chalmers and let them know exactly what was going on there. They are still looking for answers. Back to my conversation about water inequity and water injustice suffered by the citizens here in the city of Detroit. We know that shutoffs are not a viable collection tool. Shutoffs are not a viable collection tool. Shutoffs are not a viable collection tool. So we need to figure out a way to keep people's water on. We know that giving people clean, safe, affordable water is good, not only for that individual, but for that block, for our community, and for our city. Water is essential to human life, essential to human dignity. Now, there is a distinct difference between water affordability and water assistance. And that is a key, and that's what we're seeing now. So, like the Lifeline program was a water assistance program. It's temporary in duration, temporary in funding, and when funding ran out, there was no program. Lifeline H2O, again, a water assistance program, temporary in duration, limited funds, and as we know, as of right now, that program is closed with a very low enrollment, where we have over 60,000 households that are low income and in need of help. We only have 4,711 households enrolled. So what we're looking for and what we're fighting for and what we're advocating for and hoping that the water department can join us in is advocacy for true water affordability. This means that people are given a bill that they can pay. And when people are given a water bill that they can pay, they pay their water bills. So again, please reach out to We the People of Detroit. Go to our website, take the pledge. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, we also have Miko A. Williams that has his hand raised.
All right. Mr. Williams? Mr. Williams, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. This is D'Amico Williams. I'm the Chief Executive Director of Hydrate Detroit. And I just wanted to address the board with a few concerns that I have, most definitely regarding shutoff. But first, I would like to have some updates. To DWSD Deputy Director Sam Smalley, I would like the update if you were able to get the standing water option put on the Improved Detroit app. We need that option to report standing water at public sidewalks and streets where they have high water, standing water that could damage your car or get splashed by a oncoming car if you're waiting on the bus. We need that standing water option to report on Improved Detroit so that water could be sucked up. And also, I would like an update on the water shutoff situation. I've been calling. I want to thank this board for agreeing to reach out to state reps Stephanie Chang and Evan Diffendorf about their water bills, and hopefully to include Rashida Tlaib. I also reached out to Congressman Sharif Thanadar, and he's willing to pledge to help with water restoration. DWSD been shutting off water, and they have not been allowing people to get back into Easy Pay plans, or if they get back into Easy Pay, if they pay a high percentage, which is 10%, which we represent people with over $1,000 or more worth of bills, water bills. And I've had a few clients that have had high water bills that are unable to get back into Easy Pay, where they should have been in the Lifeline plan. They should have been on H2O, or they should have been on the affordable assistance. Why is Wayne Metro still collecting names and information if they don't have any money to pay? And they're telling people you got to wait 3 billing cycles before they are able to pay. And if you go to SCR, why aren't you telling people if they go to SCR that disqualifies them for other assistance programs like Wayne Metro and others, because they're trying to get assistance on their water bill, which is high because either the plumbing, the pipes from over the winter, from death.
You? All right, well, if he comes back on, he's got 30 seconds left. Is there anyone else that would like to?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we lost you for a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm under the Wayne State Tower. All of this I'm going to submit in writing, and I did try to represent Jadante Smith the best I could, and I'm going to agree with him that we have escalated all of our available options to help him. We have ran out of options, and now this unfortunately has to go to court because he needs restitution and restoration for all his damages and troubles. So does Ruby Riley as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Chair, there are no other hands raised at this time.
Right, so we will close out public comment and we will return to the agenda. The next item is number 6, communications, and it looks like there are none. Number 7, items from the commissioners. Are there commissioners have any items that they would like to bring to the board today? Commissioner Blackman.
I don't know if I have made this statement before, but I want to commend the department for the work they did at 333 Covington, which was a disaster for those residents at that apartment complex. There was a huge, I guess, water main break, some that affected the residents, and the department responded in an exemplary way and satisfied those customers and got that situation resolved. So I want to thank the department and all of the employees who helped to resolve that.
Thank you very much.
It was certainly leading the effort.
And I would observe, based on what you report, when a main, the system is so old, and I don't know how many mains we're losing a year. I heard it was more than 200. And when a main repair comes quickly and efficiently, you never hear about it. But you do hear, and rightfully we should, when mains are not repaired expeditiously. So I appreciate your comment. Other commissioners, any items to bring before the board? We move to unfinished business. of which there is none. And then we move to the approval of the consent agenda, items 9A through J. Now, the consent agenda consists of mostly contracts that have come to the Finance Committee and have been reviewed very thoroughly by the Finance Committee. Our bylaws provide that we can approve them all at once as long as there is unanimous consent to do so. Commissioner Forte, I believe the Finance Committee presents these items with a recommendation to approve.
Yes, absolutely.
So unanimous means unanimous. Does any commissioner wish to take any of the items off of the consent agenda to be considered separately? All right, hearing none. Is there a motion? Commissioner Blackman,
Consent agenda as presented.
their support? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? As presented is items 9A through J. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those opposed? And that is adopted unanimously. Next, we move to item 10, new business. Item 10A, 2026-120. Is there an amendment? Is there a motion? Commissioner Davis.
Chair, I move that the Board of Water Commissioners for the City of Detroit Water and Sewage Department approves the amended pay grades and salary ranges for 9 classifications and authorizes the director to take such action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this vote.
It's been moved and supported. Ms. Jones?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tiffany Jones, HR Director. In March, Mayor Mary Sheffield signed an executive order, executive number 2026-03, establishing a living wage standard of $21.45 hourly. That's $44,616 annually for all City of Detroit employees. I have included a copy of that executive order in your packet. To align with the city, DWSD's HR team, in collaboration with our labor relations, finance, and the City of Detroit's classification and compensation division, identified all classifications and employees currently compensated below that threshold. Currently, DWSD has 2 pay grades, which together have 9 classifications that need to be amended. 37 employees will need to be adjusted accordingly. We have informed the unions, which there are 2, ASME and UWUA, and we are working on MOUs. Upon approval of this honorable body, we will take any and all necessary steps to implement the approved pay scales, including any and all salary adjustments and/or modifications, so that the changes take effect along with the city on the first full pay period of July 2026.
All right. Any discussion or questions?
Glad to hear when there's an increase and change in pay scale for our employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Do we have a motion? Yes, we do. On the motion, all those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? And that is unanimously adopted. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Next, we have the director's message. Both the director and the deputy director are unable to attend today. So our general counsel is sitting in as the interim deputy director. And I made the observation, general counsel always play utility infield. And Ms. McGriff, or Mr. McGriff, I don't know if you have any comments?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to highlight that Director Brown's message actually highlights the fact that we're knee-deep in the construction season and also speaks to the good work our employees did in 2025. Also set forth in that message, or underlying that message, is the fact that underlying all of that good work is a significant aging infrastructure. Deputy Director Smalley has repeatedly pointed out that the average age of our infrastructure is plus 90 years old. And Director Brown points out in his message that we are spending $220 million annually on an upgrade through our CIP. Our advocates are vocal in pressing the affordability issue and perhaps don't realize that the direct connection between infrastructure and affordability. And that is particularly true with the unfunded mandates imposed by the state and federal authorities, particularly our lead service line program, our lead service line replacement program. And so I think that underlying the director's message is a request to our advocates to help us with respect to advocating for our infrastructure projects, that aging infrastructure. You know, we're an organization that is funded by our ratepayer dollars and by the grants that we get from the state and federal authorities. And when we receive unfunded mandates like the lead service replacement program, that means that we don't have the money to spend on the aging infrastructure that is so necessary and is needed. So I think underlying the director's message is a request for assistance in advocating for DWSD. And believe me, DWSD is working very hard to obtain additional grant funding, as well as hopefully in the future, once those mandates become closer, we'll be able to look at possibly asking for extensions on the deadlines that are imposed by those unfunded mandates that, you know, give us the requirement that we replace so many of those lead service lines at such an expense in a short amount of time.
All right. Questions? Yes, Commissioner Blackman.
The need for the request, the realization that it might happen.
Say it one more time.
Understand the request for the funds and that what we need to do for our aging infrastructure. What's the reality of that taking place, especially at this time?
That's a really good question that I'm going to defer to Director Brown and Deputy Director Smalley, but no. However, the reality is that we do have those mandates. We are required to replace our lead service lines, and we don't have a choice about that, and we will get it done.
At what price?
The question is, at what expense, and what's going to be the cost of that? And without help, either in delaying the funding, allowing us to spread it over a longer period of time, we have only 10 years that we have to replace everything, and we've got a $100 million obligation as a result of that. There's going to be some of the necessary infrastructure will have to be delayed in order to accomplish those federal and state mandates. So, you know, it's a rob Peter to pay Paul type of situation. We're working very hard to look for additional federal funding, additional state funding to help offset that. I have to offset some of those costs, and we'll keep you updated as we go forward.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair, just a comment. Yeah, I think, and thank you, General Counsel McGriff, for the report. But one of the things that you said just really hit home, and that is, and we've been told this time and time again, that the average age of our infrastructure is 90 years. Not talking about the oldest piece of our infrastructure. That's the average age of our infrastructure. And so that to me is a real pinnacle point, because we can't determine when that infrastructure we may not be able to rely on it because of breaks and those sorts of things. And that just makes it all the tougher for us to replace the required mandate for lead service lines and any of the other things that we have to get done. But it's just something I keep in the back of my head.
All right. Other commissioners?
Saying I agree with her, that, yes, yeah.
Other commissioners? Comments by the chair? I have none. We have on our agenda convening an executive committee for the purpose of listening to legal advice. Commissioner Kenlock advises me he's not sure that the executive committee is necessary. We've received an extensive briefing behind this. Let me just take an informal. Do you want to go on an executive committee or not?
No, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Kenlock. More than,
That we do not go into closed session, that I move that we do not go into closed session.
move to item, we don't need a motion to do that.
Motion to amend the agenda to move that item and then proceed directly to item 16A.
Move that we amend the agenda, eliminating item number 15A, and move or proceed to the next item on the agenda.
Been supported. All those in favor, please say aye. And opposed? There are none. All right, then let's move to item 16. Commissioner Kinlock, do you have a motion?
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I move that the Board of Water Commissioners for the City of Detroit Water and Sewage Department approves the settlement agreement resolving pending Brightmore condemnation matters involving Michael Williams and affiliated entities, and authorizes the director to take such other action as may be necessary to effectuate the settlement.
Moved and supported. Mr. McGriff, any comments?
Beyond the information that's contained inside the agenda, and in connection with the attorney-client privileged memo that was previously distributed to the board, we don't have any additional comments.
Questions or comments? All those in favor of adopting the motion as presented, please say aye. Any opposed? And that is adopted. The next item is adjournment.
Chair?
Supported. All those in favor of adjourning this May meeting, please say aye. Opposed? And we stand adjourned. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.